like to get to his development update before he leaves on vacation. Mr. Collins. You may not ever see him again, by the way. He's going to have to deliver forever.
As long as Margaret and the kids come back.
So the theme song, The Deliverance, was intentional when you go through the development update. We wanted to do something a little bit different. We would typically take time during the development update to highlight construction activity. Well, there's not a whole lot of construction activity right now, but the good news is, as y'all well know, before it reaches a stage before y'all are considering site plans or SUPs and before building construction plans are turned in, we have the opportunity at the staff level to get to talk to brokers and potential end users and the various disciplines that are involved in the construction activity. So what we wanted to do was just take you on a real quick little tour of the city, if you will, and hopefully the take-home message would be that there's some optimism that has returned into the marketplace, and there are people that are kicking tires on property on various types of development that's really occurring in different places throughout the community. The former Muya Burger here, we had a confirmation with the owner of that they are continuing the negotiation, the contract terms for a new restaurant. They're trying to finalize what will be the construction plans to turn this portion there on the north side of that building into a patio area. Across the street at Glade Parks, just a quick note that if you've not driven there, this week they have started mowing down a couple of weeds that were out there, and we would expect to have a more detailed update for you in August on where they're expected to take that development into August and September. Let's take you on the east side of Gateway on property that is owned by Hinckley's. This would be on the north side of the Bear Creek, Little Bear Addition rather, south of the detention pond that's part of the shops at Vineyard Village. This property is under contract for a potential single-family residential development. Again, as we walk through here, the point is not that these are going to come forward necessarily as a site plan. It's that there's a level of activity that people are expressing interest in vacant undeveloped tracts throughout the community. Another piece of property is under contract on the west side of Bays Road, south of the Ashbrook Estate, south of Glade Road. Another infield site that you've got some interest in single-family development. While we're out there, you'll notice that the rock and brick has been delivered to Starlight Court for them to begin construction of the masonry screening wall that will be built there on the east and the south side of the development. Again, we're hopping around to different parts of the city. We are at the northwest corner of Harwood and the 360 Service Road. You've seen pictures of this vacant land, but what's new with this is there's a new owner of that property. You might remember that there was some excess property that TxDOT had owned that was never going to be used for the widening of 360. The fellow that owns this property now went through the process through TxDOT to get that property that y'all were involved in allowing him to do that about a year and a half ago. So that's going to be about, a little less than an acre that he'll be able to couple with this. The amount of vacant property, if you continue north from Harwood to get south of the Collins Park Apartments, no relationship, is about 13, 14 acres. This individual is trying to get all of that property under control for a future development. What's really sparking some of this interest right now is what's being made in public statements about the future extension of Harwood Road to connect into the airport. That's spurring some new interest. Dominion at Riverwalk, real quickly, this is a view looking to the east, which would be the entrance to the urban loft development that y'all will be considering in the future, confirmed with the developer that they're continuing the negotiation of that land. Y'all can see a site plan for that development in September, probably into the October timeframe. Northeast corner of Pipeline and South Industrial, again, to indicate that there's levels of interest being expressed in property throughout the community, including this hard corner here for potential retail development. This particular user's actually got interest up and down the 157 corridor, but we thought it was cool that they were looking, quite candidly, south of the Airport Freeway for a nice investment in there. Yes, Forest Farm. And then one last picture that I did not get to place on here just because the meeting took place this afternoon. There's a fellow that's got a couple of acres under contract in some industrial zone area to build a warehouse. He's currently in some rented space in the Mid-Cities area. He looked all over Northeast Tarrant County and he said, I think Euless is the very best location for the wholesale distribution business that I'm associated with. He provides accessories for sale by major Western store retailers throughout this southeastern, southwestern United States and even up into Canada. And he's started his business about 8 or 9 years ago, and it's grown, and now he's making an investment to own his own building that he'll operate his own business out of. So those are kind of fun to work with to try to help them go after their dreams.
We just signed a lease today at the where the Army was. I didn't even heard it. It's called IT and it's TEA for you. Don't know anything else about it. Didn't know anything to do with the negotiation until I got the signed lease on the desk.
You know, that's a new big thing, is for tea stores instead of coffee stores.
Yeah.
Specialty teas, like
So-
Tivana and...
Yeah. So,
Mike, is the Muya property that you mentioned, is that in negotiation with a new franchise owner or a different business?
Totally new restaurant.
Yeah, I think
they die.
that's not only a possibility, but a probability of the new restaurant. And I think you're going to be thrilled to see it. It will be something that doesn't exist in our area. It'll be rather unique, a little more upscale than Muya. Muya was a good burger. I mean, we're not knocking them off, like Muya. But it'll be something different. The greatest part about it, I told you about the guy before that's doing this, somebody that Betsy brought to the table. But it's his first step into our market. He's a Dallas guy that is extremely well funded, and what I'm excited about, the one restaurant that he's planning is exciting, but it pales in comparison to what he has the potential to bring. And this is his kind of dipping his toe into our market that is extremely exciting for us. We had a conference call Friday with Lake Park's people, and I know that there have been all kinds of promises made. They're actually doing some grading out there. They're yesterday, and they're doing what they told us they would do. They have signed contracts now for some businesses. Nothing that's going to knock your socks off to start with, but they said the fourth quarter of this year you will see buildings going up out there. And the best part about it is we have talked about the new ownership and how well funded they are in our discussions with them about the major infrastructure needs out there. They will probably be fronting some money for that. And we'll be bringing you much more information about that hopefully in August. But they did not be thinking the kind of money that they can sink out there if there was not reality. And I think we're disappointed in the rates here today, but the rates are a reflection of the economy, our construction costs. We got bids to talk about here a little bit on our water project. They're a little bit more than what we expected, but it is also we're selling concrete, we're selling bricks, we're selling all kinds of stuff. It is we can't overlook the good news in all of that, and I get out on a lot of work going on right now. And Mike showed you across the city, it's an exciting time that if we can just keep that national economy and national focus and optimism going. Any questions for Mike?
The hall spot would be wonderful to get rid of.